Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hope you guys are having an awesome Sunday. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Hallelujah. Good. Hey, Tyron, how you doing? All right, y'all. So, yeah, I got dinner on, so I was like, let me go ahead and come on over here so we can go tap into this newest lawsuit filed against Sean Combs. And this complaint is going to be a little bit different than any other of the SA complaints that have has been filed. Besides Rodney, I know with Little Rod, he did have pictures and things of that nature in his petition, but when I say this particular petition has, receipts, it has receipts. Now, a lot of people don't realize, hey, Slay or SLA is one of those. It is one of, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. I'm having an awesome Sunday. Yep, I am. I need to call my mother-in-law because I have not called her today, but I will. But this petition is a little bit different than any other petition. When we draft petitions and we filed in the court, a lot of people don't realize that we you have to have, what is it, it's like a 51% rule when it comes to the relevant facts. We may not have every single supporting document to support the allegations that are made in the petition. However, we are still going to file it. We are still going to gather our, documentation and information. And if we have to amend the complaint, then we usually amend the complaint. But if a client comes in and they have a lot of supporting documentation already, then definitely yes, we are going to go ahead and include that in the petition, because um it really shows that, okay, well, this is a little bit more than being alleged. They actually have receipts. Now, I'm not saying that any other petition, SA petition that has been filed against Combs is not, factual in nature or anything of that sort. But what I am saying is it just hits a little different when you do have uh, evidence. Now, we have to realize that a lot of this stuff happened years ago. So people they don't have access to, the dress that they wore that night, or the plane ticket, or the party, to whatever evidence, tangible evidence, they probably do not have it. So we can't say that somebody's story is not, factual. They know, God knows. That's all I can say. But when a client comes in and they have the receipts and the receipts are receipting, you best believe Cassandra is going to include that into the petition. All right. So we're going to hop right on into it. There is a trigger warning, and I probably need to change my caption. Um, Mentally, I had to stop talking about the SA stories with Diddy, only because it has been, when I first started reporting it, I'm not gonna lie, it was very draining. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Um, Wait, good evening. I heard Jag got arrested. Child, hold on, y'all. Jaguar Wright got arrested. Hold up. Hold on. Is is this breaking news? Hold on. Hey girl. Where? Hold on, y'all. Let me l- I don't even think Jag is in I don't think she in Texas. Hold, hold up. Hold up. I know I'm diverting. I'm not even gonna edit this video. I don't ever edit my videos. Hold on, let me pull up Dallas County right quick. Child, because I know that stuff with Jag, boy. They've been trying. Not y'all know I be talking much noise, but I ain't about to call nobody and be putting them in jail. when I ain't got the time to sit there and do all that. Jacqueline, right? What waste of man? What's up? What's up, Pensy Lola? What's up? When Jaguar gets her baby, hold up. Somebody just they just text me. Well, not text me, they messaged me. Dallas, hold up, Dallas jail. Lord have mercies. I don't even think she's in I don't think she's in Texas. Jacqueline. I know y'all can't see what's on the screen because let me try this one more time. If not, I'm gonna have to do a global search and I'll do that afterwards. But child, I may be making another video if that's the case. All right, she ain't in Dallas County. I don't know where she at, but we're gonna go ahead and tap into this. What's up, Queen Grandma Rocks? Yeah, I'm like, hold up, y'all might need to go ahead and send me some information because I don't see it in Dallas. So I don't know where she at, but I'm gonna find out. But let's hop on to Diddy. Let's hop on to Diddy. I put the trigger warning on so y'all grab y'all wine and your coffee or your water and let's hop right on into this. All right, so we have Miss LaTroya Grayson. Now, one thing I am going to say, if this is the individual who currently lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or in Oklahoma, I pulled up some information on her and y'all best believe it's gonna come out. But I want to confirm that it is the same person before I put out this information because I'm like, oh, this is not good at all. I heard she going back and forth to Arizona. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check that out, but I haven't heard anything. And the person who texted me, I asked her what state. Baby. That's gonna be another show. All right. So LaTroya Grayson versus obviously Sean Combs and all his entities, as well as John and Jane Doe's 1 through 10. And let's see who else. Atlantic Record to Mike Savas, Delta Airlines. That's a new one. Let's see, KK Jams 105.3 and the Roger Smith Hotel. So she has included all of them in there. I ain't gonna go through all that. Preliminary statement is usually the same. I'm trying, well, it's not long. Let me go ahead and read it so we can get a what you call it. Another one bites the dust. You ain't lying, buttercup. All right, let's hop on into it. Okay, preliminary statement. On November 16th, 2023, as we all know, Cassandra Ventura, aka Cassie, filed a 35-page lawsuit in which she exposed defendant Combs of subjecting her to nearly a decade of physical, actual, and emotional abuse punctuated by grape, sex, X trafficking, and being forced to engage in drug fueled, non consensual sexual encounters with other men. Ordinarily, when a lawsuit such as Miss Ventura is filed that involves events that took place long ago, witnesses are far and few between and evidence hard to muster. And that's what I was just speaking on. When it took place long ago, just think about it. Does anybody have any of their stuff from when they were a teenager or in their 20s? I'm and I'm I just want y'all to dwell on that. I know I don't. The only thing I have is my high school diploma and my high school records, but anything else, I have no clue what happened to them. And I'm not keeping up with that. Now I understand what people said when something traumatic happens, da 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 da. I've had that same situation, not like any of them, but I had a tragic situation that has happened, but I don't have any evidence or nothing. I don't have none of that. Oh, she didn't even. I guess she didn't get the fact. All right. Blah, blah, blah. What's up, Keisha? Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Oh, my point exactly. I don't think anybody still has any of their items from back in the days, but that's just me. I can't speak for everybody else. Not so for the claims brought against defendant Combs. Within minutes of the filing, Ms. Ventura claims were confirmed by various witnesses, including a rival musician whose car defendant Combs blew up. I'm laughing because that still gets me. This man actually did this. Um, let's see. Within minutes of filing, Ms. Ventura's claim was confirmed by various witnesses, including a viral musician whose car defendant Combs blew up, various individuals who observed defendant Combs beat Ms. Ventura, and a video released by CNN showing defendant Combs physically abusing, battering, and assaulting Ms. Ventura. All right. So that alone, nobody, I mean, absolutely nobody believed Cassie until this video came out. And that's sad. Since Ms. Ventura's brave decision to file a lawsuit against defendant Combs has accumulated numerous lawsuits across the country for the same conduct alleged by Ms. Ventura. The number is growing and continuous in various jurisdictions throughout the United States. That's where this man has over probably 200 lawsuits at this point. In September 2024, defendant Combs was arrested in the Southern District of New York, where he is currently being held with no bond, awaiting various serious criminal charges. Plaintiff now alleges she is one of the many victims of defendant Combs and the other defendants named herein. Good. Hey, deserving. What's up? Plaintiff can support her allegations and has suffered extreme emotional distress, impacting nearly every aspect of plaintiff's life and personal relationships. Given all the brave individuals who have come forward against Combs, plaintiff is also doing the same. All right, I smell. Let me read this and let me go get my broccoli. Put it on low. Plaintiff brings this action seeking injunctive, declaratory, and monetary relief against defendants in violation of the Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Law, Gender Motivated Violence Act of the New York City Administration Code, Section 101101. All right, so give me 1 second. I swear, when you put stuff on low, it don't be on low. I don't know what's going on. All right, so the jurisdiction we know is going to be in New York. Says this litigation arises from or relates to the Tortious Acts the defendant visited upon plaintiff in New York. This tortious conduct violates the United States federal RICO laws and other laws. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, she's asking more than 75,000, blah, 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 blah. All right, so let's get to, I don't want to do the parties. All right, so Sean Combs, we already know about him. Bad Boy Entertainment. Atlantic. Defendant Atlantic was responsible for and facilitated the event that lured plaintiff to defendant Combs in New York, where she was injured. So that's why they're in there. Mike Savas. Let's see. Defendant Savas, upon information and belief and confirmed by defendant's Savas LinkedIn page, was an employee of defendant Atlantic at all relevant times. In his employment capacity with defendant Atlantic, he was responsible for promoting, coordinating, and arranging the promotional contest, which was the cause of the plaintiff's injuries. Delta Airlines. So defendant Delta's ongoing relationship and participation with defendant Combs, Atlantic, and K Jams was to transport potential victims to defendant Combs, was corrupt, exploitative to plaintiff, and to benefit defendant Delta and other members of the enterprise. In their capacity as a common carrier, was responsible for transporting and arranging the delivery of plaintiff and possibly all contest winners to defendants, which ultimately led to plaintiff's injury. This is a new one. I've never in my life sued a airline for this particular reason. All right, so K Jams is a radio in Oklahoma radio station. Let's see. They're da da da. All right, so they were licensed to do business since 1991, and it says that they were responsible for and facilitated the event that fraudulently enticed plaintiff to enticed plaintiff to New York where she was injured. That's crazy. Defendant Roger Smith Hotel. All right, so they're in New York, New York. They have had an ongoing relationship and participation with Defendant Combs, Atlantic, and K Jams to provide lodging to potential victims. To Defendant Combs was corrupt, exploitative to plaintiff, and to benefit Defendant Hotel and other members of the enterprise. And they were a common carrier as far as being responsible for the accommodations of the plaintiff and all contest winners. So pretty much, you know how it goes. If you win something off the radio to go to somewhere, they'll set you up with a plane ticket and a hotel and blase, blase, blase. And this is probably what happened. I don't know if they do that anymore, but they probably shied away from that because stuff like this will happen. And we obviously know whenever there's John and Jane Does, that means that they don't have their names. But once they get those names, then they can go ahead and amend the complaint to add that. And here is the plaintiff from Oklahoma. At the time, she was 23. She's never traveled to New York prior to events described herein, and otherwise would not have traveled to New York City without being enticed by the scheme of defendants. And it says plaintiff was the guest of her half sibling who won the contest on Defendant K Jam's radio station and agreed to accompany her sibling on what she believed to be a legitimate, all expenses paid trip to a Diddy white party in New York in 2020. I'm sorry, 20. Let me just say 2006. There we go. And her life has been detrimentally impacted ever since. And if that is the case, and if this is the young lady that I seen on the news for Tulsa, then I believe it. I believe it. And I'll tell y'all that once I confirm that it is her. If not, that is her. Let's do that. All right, so let's talk about this little radio contest that they had. So in 2006, late part of 2006, Defendant K Jams began promoting a contest on his radio station 105.3 Jams in Oklahoma, sponsored by Defendant Combs BBE, that's Bad Boy Entertainment, Atlantic, and Delta, offering the winner a prize of an all expenses paid vacation for two to New York City to attend a Diddy white party. I know probably back in the days that was probably where everybody tried to get to, but man, that's crazy. At this point, Defendant Combs' white parties were legendary and ongoing as they had begun in 1998 and were in full swing by 2006. Man, what'd you say, girl? She said that's what's sick. She was chosen on her sister went and left her outside. Yeah, that part. Eagerly, plaintiff and her sibling tried to win the K Jams radio contest. Eventually, plaintiff's sibling was able to win the contest. The contest included round trip airfare for the winner and a guest, one hotel room in New York, and two tickets to attend Diddy's white party in New York. Upon information and belief, this was not a traditional white party thrown by Defendant Combs, as though typically occurred during Labor Day holiday, but a separate promotional party. Initially, the party was scheduled for October 6, 2006, but was rescheduled without warning or explanation. Plaintiff received an initial letter from Atlantic providing instructions on how to attend the party and the details of the party dated for the original date of the white party. Oh man. All right. So, yep, this is a link. If y'all can't see it, let me do this. So this is an Atlantic Record Corporation letterhead, and it is signed by Mike Savas, who is the promotions coordinator. So he's the one who's responsible for sending out this letter. Ooh. The party was then rescheduled for October 16th, 2006. Plaintiff was provided a plane ticket issued by Delta for departure on October 16th from Tulsa. Yep, that's her. That I'll tell y'all at the end. Departure of October 2006 from Tulsa to New York JFK Airport, returning to Tulsa the next day on October 17th, 2006. And so here's the tickets. Baby, she kept them tickets. In addition to the date of the party being rescheduled, the theme of the party was also changed from a white party to a black party. Due to the change of the required colored attire to attend the party, plaintiff was forced to purchase a new outfit that was within the new theme and dress requirements for admittance. Plaintiff and her sibling had never been to New York City and were very excited about their trip and their attendance at the celebrity party hosted by defendant Combs. Plaintiff and her sibling rented a limousine to transport them from the airport to the hotel in an effort to make the most of their free trip. All right. Yep, that is so 2006. Upon arrival in NYC, plaintiff checked into the prearranged hotel, the Roger Smith Hotel. And here's the receipt. Now Penny said, I don't know if I believe her yet. Child, y'all wait till I tell y'all what I found on her at the end. Oh Lord. Plaintiff was required to pay a cash deposit to the hotel, which was provided and paid by Atlantic. So she had to pay a $50 deposit, probably for phone usage, I'm thinking. All right, so let's talk about the black party. Plaintiff changed it to her requisite black outfit and met the transportation van arranged by Atlantic employee Mike Savas downstairs at the hotel. Along with plaintiff in the transportation van, arranged by Atlantic employee Mike Savas, were several other contest winners who won the same contest in their home cities and were subsequently flown to New York as radio contest winners for this Diddy Black Party. Upon arrival at the location where the Black Party was thrown, plaintiff and the other contest winners were forced to wait in line for entrance into the party. And so here, I guess this is either the interest. Oh yeah, because I'm like, dang, in 2006, could we take pictures with our files? I think we could. I can't remember. Um, Plaintiff and other contest winners were approved by entry by security based on their appearances and their attire. Individuals were not let into the party based on their position in line, but based on their attractiveness and attire. After waiting in line for approximately 45 minutes, see, baby, I would have left and went back to the room. Plaintiff was finally granted entry into the party. Even though plaintiff was granted entry, her sibling was not, and plaintiff was separated from her sibling before realizing her sibling had not also granted entry into the party. See, me baby, once I would have realized, I would have politely went and found my sibling. First of all, I've never been to New York, and I'm just saying from her standpoint. If I have never been to New York, either one of y'all, there's no way we would have split up. Absolutely not. Plaintiff did not see nor does she remember seeing her sibling at the party during the plaintiff's time inside the party. Did y'all do a spell check? Cause y'all got some misspelled words up in here. While inside the party, plaintiff took pictures with some of the celebrities in attendance, including rappers Babs from Making the Band and Bone Crusher. Okay. So I'm outside of the club and you think I'm a punk. Okay, okay. At one point, plaintiff met an individual who purported to be defendant Combs' assistant and befriended plaintiff who was alone. So who is this dude? Wait, hold up. At one point, plaintiff met an individual to be Combs' assistant, and okay, so it was a dude. All right. While at the party, there were no bar for partygoers to get drinks. Instead, pre-made drinks were being circulated throughout the party by waitresses. Now, here's the thing with it, because I remember I was in college from 2000 to 2004, and I always know pre-made drinks. I got to see you make my drink. I'm not just going to drink anything somebody hands me. So that right there, if you drunk, I hope she did not drink it. I hope she did not. After less than two pre-made drinks provided by the waitresses, plaintiff began to feel sick and tired to go to the restroom. And tried to go to the restroom. The next memory plaintiff has is awaking at St. Vincent's Medical Center of New York. Okay. Now oh my gosh, it's just some things that I feel have to be common sense. Now, I'm all like, I'm just going to sit back and observe, but I'm just saying, one, I would not have left my sibling outside. I would have went back and got her. Two, I'm not drinking anything that I don't see anybody make. And if I can make it for myself, I'm going to make it. I can't. I So you had two pre-made drinks, you got sick, you tried to go to the restroom, the next thing you woke up in the hospital. I'm still keeping an open mind here. Plaintiff has no memory or no recollection on how she ended up at the hospital. When plaintiff regained consciousness at the hospital, she noticed her shirt was ripped, her underwear was missing, she was not wearing any shoes, and the money she had traveled with was stolen. The only money plaintiff had remaining was a $20 bill. Plaintiff was admitted to St. Vincent's Hospital, treated, and released. So, all right, so she has the wristband. Okay. Upon her release from the hospital, plaintiff, a tourist, had no way of knowing how to return to her hotel, as smartphones were not commonplace at this time. That's why I was like, I'm trying to remember if they had smartphones, because my oldest was born in 2006, and I don't even remember that. Mm-mm. Plaintiff remained in the waiting area of the lobby of the hospital after her release for so long she was eventually forced out by hospital security. So you didn't call your sister? Plaintiff was able to find a book of matches in her purse bearing the name of the hotel she was domiciled. Plaintiff then hailed a taxi and returned to the hotel using the $20 bill she had left in her purse. When plaintiff returned to her hotel, she called a friend and explained she was not sure what happened to her, but plaintiff believed she was drugged, assaulted, robbed, and with no memory of how she arrived at the hospital, as her last memory was being at Diddy's black party. Plaintiff had virtually no time to process or further determine what happened to her, as her flight back to Oklahoma left at 3:50 p.m. on October 17, 20. Okay. See, this is the thing. I have to read petitions up and down about 3 or 4 times in order to ensure that I have my spelling on point, the times and stuff is on point, and then the fact that lets me know if I don't know if a paralegal draft this, a legal assistant, or if the attorney, but there's no reason why the wrong date should be in here. That should be October 17th, 2006. Anywho's, less than 24 hours after plaintiff arrived in New York City. I'm gonna need them to get the spell check together. All right, so this is, I guess, her tickets showing that she had to go back home. The day after plaintiff returned home from New York, she received a call from a New York area code with an anonymous female caller. The anonymous female caller asked to speak to plaintiff. The anonymous female caller then threatened plaintiff, telling her that any attempts to pursue anything about plaintiff's assault would be futile because defendant Combs was a celebrity and that plaintiff would just be wasting her time. And I also have an idea who I believe this female is, because if y'all go back to Lil Rod's case, it was that she's like a producer for Zeus. Her name starts with a T. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna look that up too for y'all. I think she was the one at that time, because I think is her last name Thomas, because I compared her to the newer lady, the chief of staff, that KK lady that was supplying Diddy with all the candies all the time. But I'll tell y'all in the at the end. Plaintiff was confused and scared as she did not know what happened to her. Plaintiff hearing from this anonymous female caller was further jarring and traumatizing as plaintiff learned that not only was she viciously assaulted, leading to her waking up at the hospital, but that defendant Combs was involved and plaintiff would be unable to seek justice for her injuries because of defendant Combs' celebrity status. When plaintiff tried to ask the anonymous female caller her name and how she obtained plaintiff's phone number, and the anonymous female caller hung up. When plaintiff tried to call the number back, the number was disconnected. That fast? Huh. For approximately a week after plaintiff returned home, she felt constant pain in the inside and outside of her vajayjay. Pain she believed was from rough intercourse. However, plaintiff had no memory of engaging in that activity with anyone. Plaintiff did not seek medical treatment or otherwise report her assault to law enforcement, scared and confused. She did not know exactly what happened to her. Second, because of the threats she received from the anonymous female caller of defendant Combs' involvement, and it would be a waste of time due to his celebrity status. Girl, I don't know what to feel about that. Cause if I got pain and I woke up and I woke up in a hospital. Let's talk about that. I woke up in a hospital and then I guess they kicked you out. You came back home and you was feeling this type of way. You should have sought treatment. Period. Anybody, I don't care who you are, please, 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 please go seek treatment. I think you just tell them the story what happened. And you ain't gotta say no names. Just get help. What happened at these white parties, these poor children and women and men. Exactly. It is disgusting. It's very disgusting. That's why them pre-made drinks. I did Christian Combs lawsuit too. And it's truly sad. Like they all know. They all know. In that Christian Combs lawsuit, I'm pissed because y'all are all on this boat. The mama, Diddy's mama, the kids, the baby mama, and even the baby. While that little situation happened on that boat, and God knows what else. This ain't I don't put nothing past them. Now, from some of these stories that are being brought, I don't know. I wish we had more evidence, but it's going to be kind of hard to do that when it was so many years ago. That's the only thing. Plaintiff felt betrayed by defendants, specifically defendant Combs, Atlantic, and K-Jams, because she believed attending a party thrown by defendant Combs would be a safe environment. Plaintiff felt betrayed by defendants Atlantic and K-Jams because they failed to protect her despite creating, promoting, and financing a contest that led to her injuries and lured her to an unsafe place without warning. Tyrone, what you said, right? Damn, his fame. Get the hell. That's what I'm saying. I'm not about to sit there and suffer for nobody. No, I'm going to the doctor. Imagine how many in. Okay, That's the scary part. Now, are you talking about in the water? You talk about like just we're gonna go ahead and dispose in the Atlantic Ocean, lock them all up, Diddy, the mama, and the kids. Nah, for real. For real. Let's see. The assault and fear after the assault led plaintiff into a tailspin of anxiety and depression. Plaintiff was unable to maintain employment or otherwise be a productive member of society for at least a year after her assault and battery in New York City. Plaintiff believed defendants committed the assault and battery against her solely because of her gender. Plaintiff has been reminded of her assault by defendant Combs as he is an inescapable presence in music, television, and film. Plaintiff has also experienced intimacy issues, struggling to maintain emotional and romantic relationships. Defendant Combs has altered the trajectory of plaintiff's life. To this day, plaintiff experienced bouts of depression, anxiety, body image issues, feelings of worthlessness, and intimacy issues because of her trauma stemming from her assault. Plaintiff feared further violence and or retaliation from defendant Combs and filing this lawsuit, but since defendant Combs has been incarcerated with no bond, plaintiff feels safe to seek redress for her injuries. Plaintiff seeks justice for herself and for for any of other defendant Combs victims, including the countless victims who have already filed suit against him. All right. We already, I think this about time. Oh, girl. Girl, hold up. Mm. No laws in international water right. You know what? I ain't never thought about that. I ain't think about that. But y'all know they did say I'm man, ooh, I wish I would I know somebody up in England or somewhere because Diddy traveled. I know Diddy traveled. He traveled all over the world. And I'm sure this just did not go down in the United States of America. I'm pretty sure he has done things outside of the borders of the United States of America. Mm-mm. All right, so we claiming RICO. Conduct and participation in a RICO enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, a violation of racketeer influence and corrupt organizational act. Oh, who is my sister calling me? I'm gonna call her right back. Oh wait, hold up, cause she had the baby. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I had to answer the phone for my baby. All right. So let's see. Those white parties. Yep. Maddie said, did he have parties in the UK? I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I'm just wondering when something gonna come out against him, and that's gonna change the game. Leslie, do not start. I have to talk to my puppy like a person. All right, so let's see how Rico plays into this. So defendants, we're all gonna call them the Rico orchestrators. I like that one. Are 100% liable for the actions of defendant Combs. Defendants financially benefited through their partnership with defendant Combs. The RICO orchestrators provided defendant Combs with unfettered access to resources and failed to adequately investigate, supervise, and monitor how those resources were being used, who was using the resources, and the purpose of those resources. So, meaning that all of them are providing this man with all the resources and he's using the resources for his own nasty benefit. They failed to monitor him. They failed. So K Jams and the hotel, y'all didn't do y'all due diligence to make sure, hey Diddy, don't be doing no crazy stuff that can ruin our reputation. He ain't doing that. The RICO orchestrators. I like that. The support provided by the RICO orchestrators to defendant Combs was a lifeline that spearheaded and maintained the defendant Combs' depraved actions. Upon information and belief, the establishment of a business relationship with a prominent record label, Atlantic, prominent common carriers, Delta and Roger Smith Hotel, allowed for a distribution platform for all defendant Combs' business endeavors to disguise his true intentions with overly broad and vague in nature description of activities. Defendant knew, all the defendants knew or should have known that defendant Combs had no intention to utilize the resources he received for business related purposes, and they did not put any mechanisms in place to ensure that these resources, specifically their publication, were not being used for any illegal activity. Defendant's willful blindness resulted in plaintiffs suffering the harm detailed herein. So, all in a nutshell, what they're trying to say is that they, how can I say this? This was like a dating game for Diddy, right? All of these contestants won. They get there, they stand outside. The security guards look and see which ones are pretty, which ones are not, and let only the pretty people in. And then everybody else to go trail in afterwards, and that was that. That's how he didn't use it for business purposes. He used it for his pleasure. Leslie, don't start. Defendants are individuals and entities within the meaning of person as identified in what is that? Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 1961, paragraph 3, because each is capable of holding and does hold a legal or beneficiary of beneficial interest in property. The RICO Orchestrators Association was composed of defendants Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, Atlantic, Mr. Mike Savas, Delta Airlines, K Jams, and the hotel, and any of the John and Jane Does. So let's see. So a racketeering activity. So here's the relevant part of Title 18 of the U.S. Code 1961. So any act or threat involving unaliving, kidnapping, gambling, arson, robbery, bribery, extortion, dealing in obscene matter, or dealing in a controlled substance or illicit chemical, which is chargeable under the state law and punishable by imprisonment for more than a year. And then in paragraph B, we have, let's see. So, and I'm only going to read the ones that they're relating this to, and it's highlighted. Well, not highlighted. It's in bold. So, Section 1343. So they're saying relating to wire fraud, because mind you guys, they made transactions. I don't know how it works. I don't know if Diddy or Bad Boys Entertainment paid Delta and K Jams in order to pay for the room. Not K Jams, paid Atlantic so Atlantic can pay Delta in the hotel. So that would be considered wire fraud. Relating to obscene matter, relating to the obstruction of state or local law enforcement, and relating to racketeering. So that is what the relevant parts of the racketeering in this case. Now, it also says in Section 1962A makes it unlawful for any person who has received any income derived directly or indirectly from a pattern of racketeering activity, or through a collection of unlawful debt in which such person has participated as a principal within the meaning of Section 2. I'm not going to read that because that's not relevant. Let's see. In Part C of the Section 1962, it says unlawful for any person employed by or associated with any enterprise engaged in to conduct or participate or the conduct of such enterprise affairs through a pattern of racketeering activity. In section D, they said any person to conspire to violate. Oh my gosh. The defendants have unlawfully increased their profits by luring and deceiving individuals, such as plaintiffs, under false pretenses for defendants' personal desires, deviances, and gain. So that means y'all are sitting here and y'all are advertising these concerts, well, not concerts, these free things, knowing darn well what Diddy is capable of doing. It's under false pretenses because if you go, and I'm just trying to think about it, like if you get invited to a white party, right, you're gonna go there and you're gonna get to see celebrities and all this other stuff. That's what you think. But you get there and something happens to you. That's considered something totally different. That is Combs' personal desire. So he don't see it as, you getting the opportunity to, have fun, like generally have fun with somebody, show them New York, have them a free tour of the studio, whatever. But you invite them to a white party. I could go to a party down the street. I ain't going to no celebrity party. I think they call them maritime law. I think that's what it is. So no laws, just different laws. The issue might be issues of jurisdiction as to where and how it was prosecuted. I believe so too. This is distant, faint knowledge of my part. My dad was a fisherman. Yeah, maritime laws. I've heard of that. I need to where's my law? My books are on the shelf. I'm not about to go get them. But I think that's it. So yeah, so they are feeding into this man's pleasure. So y'all are co-conspirators as well. Um the RICO enterprise activities affected interstate commerce is comprised of an association of persons, including each defendant and other unnamed co-conspirators herein. The association was structured by various agreements, deals, contracts, and non-contractual relationships between the defendants, by which defendants assume different roles in knowingly and directly or indirectly participating in the acts necessary to carry out directives of the enterprise. As detailed herein, plaintiff was a guest of a contest winner who won all expenses paid trip to New York to attend a Diddy party. Defendant's Atlantic arrangement for travel of plaintiff with defendant Delta and lodging accommodations with defendant Hotel. Defendant Atlantic further arranged for transportation to the party while providing no transportation from the party. Oh, I wonder if that said that in there. Let me see. I'm trying to read this letter. It says, "Dear contest winner, here is the information for today's party. Please make your way down to the lobby at 8:45 this evening dressed in your black outfit." Oh, so it wait, huh? Oh, so the party was at that hotel. We will be heading over. Oh no, I lied. We will be heading over in two vans to the party at, and it has the address. And it says the party goes until 2 a.m., where you will be responsible for your own transportation home. If for some reason you will not be at your vans or if you have difficulties, please call Mike and he provided his number. I look forward to serving y'all all tonight. Well, dang, they said we play for your trip. We pay for you to get, to the party, but you gotta pay to get back home. They didn't care where, how, and where you was gonna get back home. P. Diddy investigated by British police as a U.S. crime probe spreads across Atlantic. Oh, that was September. Ooh, thank you, Maddie. If you were friends with me on Instagram, send that to me because I want to look. I want to take a look in that because um that's not being talked about enough. Piracy is legal. Yeah. Maritime represents birth from a woman. Shanghai, Lord. Okay, interesting. Oh, right. A boat is birth. All right. Let's see. Defendants all share a common purpose: to use deception, coercion, force, and a threat of violence to enrich themselves at the expense of individuals like the plaintiff. As set forth herein, although all defendants may not have directly threatened, coerced, forced, or violently threatened plaintiff, they financially benefited from this scheme. It is reasonable to believe defendants would not have engaged in these acts of threats but for the existence of the RICO scheme and their understanding that they would have unfettered access to engage in their illegal and corrupt enterprise without question. As evidence in plaintiff complaint herein, defendants all orchestrated, participated, managed, and executed the RICO enterprise. Let's see. Defendant Delta transported victims, including plaintiff, on commercial airlines to New York City to be guests of the Black Party and to defendant Combs directly. The RICO enterprise has functioned as a continuing unit and maintains an ascertainable structure, separate and distinct from the pattern of racketeering activity. This jurisdiction has criminally accused defendant Combs of engaging in racketeering, and both cases have similar fact patterns and descriptions of racketeering activities, and that it does. Defendants decimated their concealed scheme to plaintiff in Oklahoma using interstate telephone wires and radio waves. Boy, I love how the law works, boy. So, y'all see this? Because how can I say this? Okay, it says defendants decimated their concealed scheme to plaintiff in Oklahoma using their interstate telephone wires and radio waves. So she listened to the broadcast, right? She called in to the radio station, her sister did, and they won the tickets. So that yeah, I see what y'all did. I see what y'all did. The true nature of defendant enterprise was left undisclosed, was omitted, and or affirmatively misrepresented, all to fraudulently increase defendant's profits, at least some of which were used to expand the enterprise, causing further injury to plaintiff and possibly many others. So they're not going to, honestly, we know this. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, you're going to go to Diddy party, and Diddy's been, accused of doing this, this, and this, but they're not going to say anything. And they're not going to say anything because at the end of the day, they lose money doing that. So that's why it appears that y'all are all in this as well. Because why are you going to send me to a Diddy party when you know what Diddy do at these parties? All right. Upon information and belief, defendants profited from the enterprise and used the proceeds from the enterprise to advance their enterprise by funding and operating their marketing machine, including through the use of mail. Let's see, where am I at? Mail, magazine coverage, word of mouth, and interstate wires to sell the illusion that defendant Combs was a serious and legitimate businessman who held exclusive parties and networking events that were safe and fun to attend, when nothing could be further from the truth. Now, I remember them saying that because remember when they were, was it the Vibe magazines? I think it was Vibe, where they advertised the white parties and they stated that these parties were for networking. These parties were not for networking. They were for some other stuff that happened. Look at who is that one girl? What's her name? Her last name is English. Yeah, and me reading her lawsuit, it just like, I don't know. But she started wearing white dresses, and then I guess the third or fifth time she was working, they put her in a black dress. So, how are you networking? There is no networking being done at these events. Networking probably to see who's down with the ish. That's what I think. Defendants Atlantic, Savas, KJM, Delta, and Hotel were a direct participant in the marketing aspect of the scheme, as it was Defendant Atlantic's context promotion executed by its employee, Defendant Savas, the promotion coordinator, with Defendants Delta and Defendant Hotel provided travel and lodging. Defendant KJAMS provided the general public at large misrepresentative information, including over interstate wire communication systems via their radio program on 105.3 FM radio in Oklahoma. Upon information and belief, defendants obtain revenues via wire transfer, documents, and banking transactions that were exchanged via electronic means over interstate wires, therefore growing the enterprise and causing further injury to plaintiff as described throughout. Because think about it, when they're advertising these kind of parties, you don't think that they're paying for them. So if you're paying for this advertisement, that's why you are tied in. So whether it was Combs, it was Bad Boy Entertainment, Atlanta Records, or all three of them who paid, they all of this is included. All of this is considered RICO. Once you exchange money, wire ACH, because I don't think they had any of that other means of transferring funds. That's where they messed up at. Defendant schemes was reasonably calculated to deceive plaintiff of ordinary prudence and comprehension through the execution of their complex and illegal scheme to misrepresent the true purpose of defendant Combs' parties, and that attending those parties would lead to assault, battery, or overall danger to plaintiff. Plaintiff would have never engaged in any regard with defendant Combs if not but for the complex and illegal racketeering scheme operated by defendants. Upon information and belief, defendants each had the specific intent to participate in overall RICO enterprise scheme, and each participated in the enterprise as follows. So now it's going to break down how each of them participated in the RICO scheme. Upon information and belief, defendants control and participated in the activities of the enterprise in a variety of ways as set forth herein, including but not limited to developing marketing campaigns to legitimize defendant Combs' parties to the general public, just like they did with the Vibe magazine. Remember, because Vibe was also included. Because what did they do? They marketed those white parties, knowing darn well it wasn't about no networking. Upon information and belief throughout the relevant period, defendant Atlantic, KJAMS, Delta, and Hotel entered into a partnership agreement with defendant Combs and Bad Boy Entertainment as general business partners. Each member is responsible for the partner's actions in the partnership. Defendants have an ethical obligation to ensure their business partners were not using the partnership to engage in illegal activity. Defendant KJAMS, Atlantic, Delta, and Hotel provided resources to their general business partner Combs and Bad Boys Entertainment. Defendant Combs and Bad Boys Entertainment used the resources provided by the general business partners to entice the public to desire to attend this lavish and exclusive parties. Defendant Combs and his co-conspirators relied on the mail, World Wide Web, and telephone to disseminate the misleading information described herein. Defendants did not disclose to the individuals they solicited the fact that they would be drugged, assaulted, or battered while attending events sponsored by and starring defendants and their businesses. Defendants authorized the resources to their general business partner, defendant Combs, in furtherance of the goals of their conspiracy. Defendants used the contest promotion and party as a ruse to provide defendant Combs and Bad Boys Entertainment cover to disguise their covert RICO enterprise. Throughout the relevant period, defendants used their collective resources relying on the mail, email, radio, and World Wide Web to disseminate the misleading information described herein. As the general business partners of defendant Combs and BBE, defendants are equally liable for the commission of these acts. That's what it is. Uh-huh. Wait, hold up. All I see is don't go to jail. Hold up, hold up. All right, Pensy said all their charities are child trafficking, organ harvesting. Girl, I promise you, I thought it is always a cover. It's a cover for these things. I believe truly it is a cover. Like they be out here trying to have all these foundations and stuff like that. I was like, it's something way bigger than that. She said, "Oh well, that's my old man is manifesting." Top 20. What you talk about? Don't go to jail this weekend. Judges won't be back on the bench. Okay, look, and I'm not answering the phone. Vibe was owned by Quincy Jones. Huh. That's why Quincy Jones was at them parties too. Sickening Radio was in and out on it too. Mm-hmm. Ah, okay. That's crazy. It's more than opportunists because why solicit their participation? This is deep. It really is deep. It goes really, really, really deep. That's why I like the law. That's why I said when I file a lawsuit, and I speak it over with the attorney. I'll be like, okay, this is who all we're suing because that person associated that person. That's like in a car wreck. If somebody is driving their mama car, right, and they get into a car wreck, right, and we end up filing a lawsuit, I'm filing a lawsuit against the driver and the owner of that vehicle because that owner of a vehicle should have known the person that was driving can't drive. Okay. Or in another case that we I handled before, it was a worker. He was working for the city. A drunk driver ran him over. So we sued the drunk driver, the place where the drunk driver went before he even did that because he was drunk. Ended up suing them as well. All of y'all should have known better. So in this case, Atlantic should have known better. I'm pretty sure there was rumors going on back. Now we probably didn't know it, but I'm sure that there were rumors going out there as to what Diddy was doing at these white parties. And I know they had to talk. People gossip. People gossip. They've been gossiping since Jesus, before Jesus. So I know there had to be some type of word out there. So yes, so that's why they did correct. I'm suing everybody and their mama. I'm suing the hotel that they was at. I'm suing Atlanta Records who hosted this. I'm suing the radio station for making me even want to call in. I'm suing everybody. All these capital attorneys keep quitting Diddy cases because they probably found him discussing. Yeah, okay. That's why y'all, I need to tally up how many cases Diddy has. He has over 200 cases. He has to have over 200 cases. How are you going to pay your attorneys on retainer to cover all of these cases? Quincy, Barry Gordy, and that's why what is that movie with because I'm thinking about Chuck Berry. Was it Cadillac Records? I'm thinking about Cadillac Records. There's so much stuff I know that has gone down with these people. The negative church is affiliated with dirty Wasani laundering and corrupt fund. Baby, when I tell y'all it's bad out there, I just have to pray and keep my babies covered because this is crazy. Diddy don't own nothing. His kids and mother. It. You know what? And I don't understand why his mama ain't in no lawsuit. And the reason why I said that because when I read that Christian Combs lawsuit and she was also on the boat, you were also on the boat. Baby, I would have sued the mama too because you was right there. Y'all, it said they was playing Carisha Please, and I guess they dared him to do something, and did he sit there and he pulled out his tallywhacker in front of his mama. That's nasty. That I don't, how do you feel that comfortable? I have a 11, 16, and 18-year old, and if they would know, they were like, it no. Like, why would, as a parent, why would you feel comfortable to see yo, I know you gave birth to this man, but why do you feel comfortable just sitting there? That's nasty. Heck, I'm suing the employee that work at. Oh, I'm suing anybody. If you see me walk through the door, I'm suing you. Yes, Cassandra, and our black comedians. Oh my gosh, this is bad. I hope it, because everybody keeps saying I need to see Mama Combs getting sued because she started this. So he got everything in his mama name, like the big timers. Ooh, what's up, Fernando? Never seen you on here. Own nothing but control everything. That part, that part. But let me tell y'all something. What's going on? Diddy has so many cases out there. This man does not have money. Christian is hot. Wait, is it Christian or Justin? One of them is hot. I think it's Justin, hiding that Bentley in the garage. He's hiding that Bentley in the garage. He refuses to turn that car over. They are hurting right now. I know it. I know they're hurting because that's not his mom. That's his auntie. Huh? That ain't his mama. Are y'all for real? Sick World allegedly gave birth. Industry contracts don't allow wills. Oh, for real? I did not know that. That's one thing I didn't know. I thought everybody would actually have to have a will. That's interesting. Let me see. All right, let me finish. Defendant Atlantic ensured cash payments to plaintiff were executed. Plaintiff does not recall receiving appropriate United States federal tax documents for payments over the value of the trip, as if they independently declared these payments on their taxes. It is unclear if defendants requested an audit of defendant Combs' business financial records to ensure the resources provided to defendant Combs was not being used to fund illegal activities. During the 10 years preceding this filing, let me see. All right. I already know that. The racketeering acts followed the same pattern and purpose to defraud the plaintiff for the defendant's benefit. Each racketeering act involved the same or similar methods of commission and participants. Defendants' businesses would not have succeeded without repeated predicate acts and the ability to conduct their fraud using mail, telecommunications, wires, interstate travel, and possibly money laundering. The racketeering acts all relate to each other in that they were part of a concerted actions by defendant to use the endorsement and channels of the enterprise to operate their businesses to solicit potential victims. All right, so that's enough on the racketeering. Let me see. Defendant committed multiple acts of mail fraud in violation. So what did he do? Says defendants agreed to each of the acts of mail fraud described throughout this complaint. In addition, they agreed to rely on the mail to distribute their marketing materials, contest instructions, secure wires, and cash payments for other participants in the scheme. So even if they would have mailed her something in the mail and say, hey, this is what time, the white party, da 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 da, that would be considered. Oh, that's crazy. That's mail fraud. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. In furtherance of and for purposes of executing the above described fraudulent and illegal course of conduct and schemes to defraud, defendants, either individually or in combination with themselves, used and caused to be used the U.S. mail by both placing and causing to be placed marketing materials. I'm like, huh? That didn't make sense to me. All right. So what did they do? Defendants also required the mail to distribute misleading advertisement to various states, including Oklahoma. For these reasons, the use of mail to conduct fraudulent activity was necessary and inevitable. All right. They acquired and utilized wire transfer. They said that was a collective goal of furthering the RICO enterprise. I'm just kind of summarizing a lot of this stuff. She has damaged in her business and property because defendants violated the Title 18 of the United States Code. So, all in all, y'all, is saying that all of this, the acts and omissions, were actuated by actual malice and a willful and wanton disregard for the consequences suffered by plaintiff, were directed towards her because of her gender, and with knowledge of a high degree of probability of harm to plaintiff and reckless indifference to the consequences of the acts or omissions. And I see why they go under the Gender Violence Act, because pretty much what they're saying is this won't happen to a man. Like, and even though we know Sean Combs been diddling and daddling, right? It's really under this act because what happened to her, you won't see that happening to a man at those white parties. Now, if it if it did happen, I know there's a couple of lawsuits that it has happened, but generally it's always going to be women. So she's asking for compensatory damages. They said compensatory damages alone will be insufficient to deter such conduct in the future. There needs to be a criminal child. This is the first one I done ever seen that says, no, we're not going to take a settlement from the civil lawsuit. We also want to bring up criminal charges. It says compensatory damages alone will be insufficient to deter such conduct in the future. There needs to be a criminal referral to the United States Justice Department as well as to the state's attorney general's office. So she is not only asking for a civil complaint, she wants to make a criminal complaint. And this is what she's requesting the court to issue in an order and grant judgment as follows. Grant plaintiff statutory, common law, and punitive damages and applicable pre and post judgment interests in full recompense for damages. Enter judgment according to declaratory relief sought. Grant plaintiffs such other and further relief, including without limitations, injunctive and equitable relief as the court deems just in all circumstances, and to grant plaintiff an incentive of service award reflective of the work done in this prosecuting this action, the time spent, the effort and hard costs invested, and results obtained in light of court's judgment informed by awards and other similar. I seen this in the Andrea English one, and that was just RICO. So she talk about now. I can't just take a settlement. We got to take this on. We got to get some criminal a criminal case against him. So this one is assault and battery. Let's see what he did. All right, so defendant Combs and Doe's did not initiate because once again, y'all, she doesn't know what happened. She doesn't know if it was Combs. She doesn't know if it was somebody else. So that's why she's saying defendant Combs and Doe's did initiate non-consensual contact with plaintiff, did forcibly touch plaintiff, did drug plaintiff without her knowledge or consent, did intimidate and cause plaintiff's safety and security to feel threatened, and did assault and actually battery plaintiff. The defendants made offensive body contact with plaintiff, constituting harmful and offensive contact to plaintiff's person. Said contact was done intentionally by defendants and without plaintiff's consent or legal justification. Defendants act against plaintiff created a reasonable apprehension in plaintiff of immediate harmful and offensive contact to plaintiff's person. Said acts were done intentionally by defendants and without plaintiff's consent and legal justification. All right, so that's pretty much with the assault and battery. The third one is negligent training, hiring, training, and supervision and retention. So they're talking about, let me see. So due to the failure of defendants Bad Boy Entertainment, Atlantic, and K-Jams to employ qualified persons for positions or authority and or to train and supervise the conduct of persons during their employment and or to promulgate appropriate policies and procedures either formally or by custom, properly or consciously. Let me see. Who are they talking about though? Hold on, I'm just kind of skimming through here. So they're talking about anybody who worked at, hold on, let me see. So anybody who worked at Bad Boys Entertainment, Atlantic, and K Jams, they should have done their due diligence to ensure that nothing bad happens to their contest uh winners. Boy, they said that hold on. Defendants were negligent, careless, and reckless in the screening, hiring, training, retention, supervision, direction, control, appointment, or promotion of their agents, servants, and employees, and that said employees lacked the experience and ability to be hired by the said defendants, and failing to exercise due care and caution in their screening, hiring, appointment, and promotion practices, and in particularly hiring individuals who lack the mental capacity and ability to function on behalf of said defendants, and that these individuals lacked the maturity, sensibility, and intelligence to function on behalf of said defendants. Wait, this is just going on and on and on, but what are y'all actually saying? What are y'all saying that they did? I'm just okay. So this is just pretty much saying that the employees of Atlantic, the employees of the radio station, and the employees uh of Bad Boys Entertainment should have known that something, they not should have known. They should have do their due diligence to ensure that if events like this happen, such as what happened at this party, that they have something in place to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Like this lady ended up in the hospital. I thank the Lord that she actually went to the hospital. But nobody checked on her. The only person that checked on her, well, not even checked on her, she called her and threatened her and pretty much told her don't file a lawsuit, and that was it. So you telling me nobody from Bad Boy Entertainment besides this lady called to check on her? Nobody from Atlantic, nobody from the radio station, because that's it. Y'all just give people their, free tickets, free trip, and all that, and you don't follow up with them to see how their trip was, how any of this is. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hold on. Wait. What did I say? Where was I said for real? Tyron said, Diddy got no picks. He violated men too. Babe, I have to read one of those mid ones. I just can't do it because this is crazy. Yeah, they ain't playing with that. Get recompense. Get your get back. Gotcha. Itinerary and chaperones. I want to know the ages of all of them, of everybody who attended that party. So we have RICO, we have assault and battery, we have the negligent hiring of the staff at Bad Boys Entertainment, Atlantic, and the radio station. And then we have negligence because everybody was negligent. Everybody was negligent. It says defendants, inclusive of their agents, servants, and employees. Hey, Dylan, press cancel on the stove, please. Just press cancel or clear or something like that. Each defendant, inclusive of the agents, servants, and employees, were negligent in the instance that no reasonable person under the same or similar circumstances would have lured plaintiff under false pretenses to be assaulted, battered, drugged, or injured. They were they were negligent in the instance that no reasonable person under the same or similar circumstances would have caused or allowed plaintiff to be drugged, assaulted, and left unconscious at the hospital. Because my thing is, who was there? Who witnessed it? That's why we have those John and Jane Does. Who witnessed this? Somebody had to witness this. Somebody, security guards, attendees, Combs, other celebrities, somebody is responsible. So everybody in that party, really, if I find out who it is, I'm suing everybody. They were all negligent. My only question here is still, Where is the half sister or the sister-in-law, whoever you went with? Where was she? Um, the negligence of each defendant, inclusive of their agents, servants, and employees in the stance were the proximate cause of the injuries and damages suffered by plaintiff. In as so in as much the defendants were acting for, upon, and or in furtherance of the RICO enterprise and or within the scope of their employment, defendant BBE, Atlantic, and the radio station are liable under the doctrine of res- respidat superior for the tutorials actions of the same. So just meaning, they may not have directly harmed her, but they indirectly harmed her. They are responsible for whatever Mr. Combs do, because they should have known his ways. They should have known why he wanted to do this contest, why he really want people at these white parties or black parties or whatever. Plus due diligence, how you land in a okay. I want to, baby, I'm suing. Who is the ambulance? Who the ambulance people? They should get sued. I'll sue the hospital too. How I get here? No, I wondered if she even asked that. Like, who brought me here? Like, how did I get here? I wonder if she asked those. There are agents of demons. That part. Ooh wee. Um, let's see. So for the negligence, she is asking for compensatory damages, punitive and reasonable attorney fees and costs, expert fees. Oh, so they about to get some expert witnesses up in here, and disbursements. Then this is the new York victims of gender motivated, and yeah, I'm not gonna go over this because it's the same. So pretty much what it's saying is that this won't happen to a man, even though we know that there's some lawsuits. Overall, what happened to her will not happen to a man. So that's why they filed it up under the NYC Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Acts. Um, and I'm gonna read so everybody can kind of understand that part. So it says the herein described conduct of defendants include forcibly drugging and assaulting plaintiff at a party, thrown for radio contest winners, constitutes a crime of violence against plaintiff and is a crime of violence motivated by gender as defined by the NYC Admin Code. The term crime of violence means an act or series of acts that would constitute a misdemeanor or felony against the person as defined in the state or federal law, or that would constitute a misdemeanor or felony against property as defined in state or federal law if the conduct presents a serious risk of physical injury to another, whether or not those acts have actually resulted in criminal charges, prosecution, or conviction. And the term crime of violence motivated by gender means a crime of violence committed because of gender or on the basis of gender and due, at least in part, to an animus based on the victim gender. Let me see. All right. Because what is it? The Adult Survivors Act, she would not have been able to file under. See, Cassie was able to file because I believe that November 2023 was the cutoff time to file under the Adult Survivors Act. So that's why they're also filed. Well, not also. That's why they're filing under the um the Gender Motivated Act. Um, let's see. The appellate division has held that SA is an act of gender motivated violence under the laws as coerced activity is dehumanizing and fear inducing. Malice or ill will based on gender is apparent from the alleged commissions of the act itself. So think about this. I want y'all to think about this. Remember the alcohol that is laced, right? Who was drinking from those bottles? The women. Men had totally different, they didn't have the same bottles to drink from as the women did. So keep that in mind. So if he's at this party and if he's still doing the same thing that he was doing, I'm sure those pre-made drinks, he had some pre-made drinks for the women, and then he had regular drinks for the men. Okay? So, yeah. So that's right there. That right there. That was gender motivated for real. So you always have a motivation to ensure that the men don't drink from the same bottle the women does. Car service and security guard should that yes. Yes. Everyone turned a blind eye accountable. Yep. You're right. Jaguar just uploaded on YouTube, so I don't know if she's locked up, but we won't know for sure until you check it out later. Okay. Well, she just uploaded a video, unless she did a live. Diller was out here sick with power. He was, and that's why he looked like he I don't know, got the ooh wee. They say he done lost so much weight, but yeah. So I'm I see why they file under gender motivated, because every action that he has done, especially when it comes to the alcohol, he makes sure that those bottles are laced and only given to the women. It's not given to the men, but to the women. KP don't announce definitely. Oh, okay. Mary says they should have insulated those contest winners like fish out of water. They were not in a familiar element, strangers in a strange land, as it were, negligence, no. That is true. Exactly. Like they've never been to New York City. Is the gender motivated act connected to femicide? I don't know. That is a question. Hold it. Because I don't know too much about the. Well, I know just enough. All right, I'm gonna do some research on that. Side gender motivated act. I'm writing it down. All right. Let's see. So the conduct of Combs and whoever else had a part in it constitutes as sexual offenses as defined in Article 130 of the New York Penal Code. Plaintiff is a woman who is older than 18 who alleges misdemeanor and or felony penal laws violations, including but not limited to sexual misconduct, criminal sexual act in the first degree, criminal sexual act in the third degree, forcibly touching, SA in the first degree, and SA in the second degree. Defendant Combs and Doe's drugged plaintiff and engaged in acts with her unconscious person, whereas plaintiff could not refuse or be an unwilling participant. Defendant Combs demanded plaintiff drink laced alcohol while a guest at his party, as there were no other option for refreshments other than ones provided by the waitress at the party. You know what? I would have been thirsty. I would have been thirsty. I would have been thirsty. Cause ain't no way I'm drinking. This all y'all don't even got water. I would have went to the I know as nasty as it sound, baby. I would have went to the bathroom and drunk some water before I drunk anything that is pre-made. Thus, defendant Combs knew he should have known that plaintiff was incapable of consenting to sexual contact or sexual conduct. Defendant's actions presented a serious risk of physical injury to plaintiff's person, regardless of whether or not those acts resulted in criminal charges, prosecution, or conviction. Furthermore, all the defendants, I'm going to say all of them, including the Does, enabled defendant Combs' commission of the crimes of violence motivated by gender and thus are liable under the NYC Victims of GMPA. Defendants enabled or participated in the assault, battery, and drugging of plaintiff because they failed to do the following. They failed to protect her from danger. They failed to have sufficient policies and procedures in place to prevent SA. They failed to properly implement policies and procedures to prevent SA. They failed to take reasonable measures to ensure that policies to prevent SA were working. They failed to train their employees to identify SA and inappropriate workplace behaviors. They failed to protect their employees from SA, and they failed to adhere to the applicable standard of care. Defendants enabled or participated in the assault, battery, and drugging of plaintiff because defendants failed to timely and properly educate, train, supervise, or monitor their agents or employees regarding policies and procedures that should have been followed when assaults are suspected or observed. So because now invitees are one thing, but if you are in the capacity of working, whether you are a security guard, whether you were the waitress, whatever capacity, if you were getting paid that night from Diddy or any other entity, and you watch this happen, you are also a part of this problem. You are also a part of this problem. Ba, 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 bum. It is short on the Jaguar. Oh, okay. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna check it out. I want to know what happened to Dillard to become this way. We all been children, baby. That's why I say that the mama or slash aunt, whoever that is, she After I read that, I'm looking at her sideways. Something happened to him for real, and he can't use this little boy from such and such. Nah, something happened to you. Seems like their legal team would be liable too for not setting up criteria that would secure the participants' safe. Ooh, I never thought about that either. But I think that's why when you include the company, like for Atlantic, I think that all falls under there. Policies and procedures also so that they would not behave unruly and endanger themselves because random people. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Let me see. Defendants knew or should have known. Oh, wait, hold up. Did I miss something? No. Defendants knew or should have known defendant Combs was not fit to be in a position of authority. Defendants, by and through their agents, servants, and or employees, became aware or should have become aware of defendant Combs' propensity to commit SA and of the risk to plaintiff's safety. At the very least, defendants knew or should have known that they did not have sufficient information about whether or not their leaders, managers, and people were safe to be in positions of power. Defendants knew or should have known that defendant Combs posed a risk of exual violence, assault, harassment, and battery. Defendants failed to properly supervise defendant Combs to protect plaintiff from a known danger, and thereby enabled plaintiff to assault. Combs to assault plaintiff. They negligently deemed that Mr. Combs was fit to be in a position of authority, um, and or that any previous suitability problems defendant Combs had were fixed and cured, and that defendant Combs would not commit acts of SA, battery, harassment, or trafficking, and or that defendant Combs would not injure others. Like this man was gonna get help. But that's the thing. Like this is standard language. It's like, okay, well, how would they have known that he does these things? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was what 2006, and they were talking about an essay. Man, oh my gosh, all these lawsuits. The date range from 1998 on. All it's like every year he did something. So I'm pretty sure people spoke about it. There had to be rumors, at least rumors going around that Diddy was out here doing stuff. They should have known. So I agree. Y'all should have known. And if y'all did know and y'all sit here and y'all, supplied this man, y'all funded this man, y'all are just as responsible. Moreover, defendants Atlantic, Savas, Delta, and KJAMS facilitated the trafficking and assault of plaintiff by actively maintaining and employing defendant Combs in a position of power and authority through which Combs had no control over people, including plaintiff. As a proximate cause result of the aforementioned crime of violence and gender motivated violence, plaintiff has sustained and will continue to sustain monetary damages, physical injury, pain and suffering, serious psychological and emotional distress, entitling her to an award of compensatory and punitive damages, injunctive and declaratory relief, attorney fees and costs, and other remedy as this court may deem appropriate damages. So let's see. She's requesting the judgment that declares defendant Combs engaged in unlawful practices prohibited by New York City Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Act, and that Combs drugged, assaulted, and battered her. Declares that Bad Boys Entertainment, Atlantic, Savas, Delta, KJAM's Hotel, and those engaged in unlawful practices prohibited by the New York City Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act, and that they enabled him commission of the crimes of violence motivated by gender. She wants compensatory damages, awards for that, for mental, emotional injury, distress, pain, and suffering, injury to her reputation, consequential damages, lost wages, earnings, and all other sums of money together with interest on the amounts to be determined at trial. Um, Awards plaintiff damages against defendants joint and severally. So not is she so she's seeking a settlement from all of them and individually. So collectively and individually. Award her punitive and exemplary damages according to proof. So whatever, so if she still has the hospital records, she could provide that. If she still has, records now showing that she had to see a psychiatrist or a therapist or whoever, she needs to present those as well. She asking for them to cover her attorney fees, costs, expenses to incur this action, prejudgment, post-judgment interest, and any further relief. And then the main ones: negligent infliction of emotional distress and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Because, going through all of this, I can only imagine. This story did, how can I say this? I don't want to say it's strange. But people are going to pick apart certain things like we did in the beginning. It's like, okay, why would you leave your sister? Or why did you drink, pre-made drinks? It's like certain little bitty things that we have, the questions that we have in the back of our heads. But then we also have to look at, she had all the receipts. She had all the receipts from the hotel, from the flights, all that good stuff. So she did come with receipts. But the fact that she does not recall what happened to her is going to be a problem. However, if people come out, because I'm sure now they're going to do their investigation and they're going to see, okay, you know what? One, the contest winners, like somebody said in the chat, where's the list of contest winners? I want to interview each and every one of you to see if you said something, saw something. But who is to say that same lady that called her and told her not to pursue anything, who's to say that she didn't call them and say, you better not, corroborate that story or such and such. So they all probably got threatened as well. I wonder if they signed any NDAs. And even though we know that the NDAs does not cover criminal activities, people don't know that. So they are just thinking that they signed these NDAs and they can't say anything unless they do research to be like, oh, it doesn't cover crimes such as these. They have no way of knowing. Now, it was one thing that I did want to I wanted to show y'all, and that's crazy because I'm just praying that this is not her. But this is something that what's her name? Yeah. Uh Grayson. Hold up. Because one thing we do is I always pull up everybody profile, plaintiff and the defendant's profile, because I need to see. Because 9 times out of 10, our plaintiffs never, I don't want to say they never be truthful, but they leave certain details out, right? Y'all, tell me why, y'all. Hold up. I don't know if this her, and if it ain't, but this was back in 2015, and if I found it, I know somebody else, and they're gonna eat her up on this one. But it said a Tulsa woman was arrested early Friday after police say she yanked another woman during an argument over a DVD player. LaTroya Marie Grayson, 31, was booked into the Tulsa jail on a complaint of the assault with a deadly weapon, records show. Plaintiffs were called about 12:30 a.m. to the Fairmont Terrace apartments in the 1000 block of East 60th Street to investigate the reported shank. And that's all I'm going to say. Now, I'm like I said, I was like, man, they're going to try. I don't know. Somebody going to try to turn that into something else. I bet they're going to be like, oh, she's not credible because look at her. She out here yanking people. Mm-hmm. Mary says, hey, seems every youth group and church group and culture center knows about these details, reference to the secure the general welfare. Yeah. Isn't that a side effect from the um oh, as far as not remembering, it is because at every complaint that I have read, they say after they have drunk, at least one, like one got them feeling some type of way, but after the second drink, that's when they black out and they don't remember anything. And that's the scary part because just like the who was that on the boat with Christian Combs, the yacht worker stated that she seen people taking one shot and blacking out, literally blacking out. What you make? What you make? Oh, I had some chicken and broccoli. I'm about to make some rice. Oh, 18, these kids. Um, but yeah, so the lady on the yacht even witnessed. She said, "You take one after one drink, they were blacking out." And she said, "I have never seen anything like that." She's like, she's been doing this for years. Like she serves drinks and stuff to people. So she said for years she has never seen anybody after the first shot or the first drink black out. So I don't know. People may say, well, they're just copying from other lawsuits or whatever the case may be, and that very well may be. But it will all come out during discovery. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Right now, I'm sure that they are wanting. Now, here's the crazy part. They probably are going to have to subpoena uh the names or records to get the names of those contest winners because they are going to be the ones who can say, okay, this person was at the party, and then start from there. So once they do that and can obtain a list, then I think that's when we're going to start seeing this amended petition. I mean, this petition get amended. And yes, she was robbed. Did I miss it? Did she not have an ID? And did the hospital release a Jane Doe where the police called one? That is all that we don't even know. We don't know. My thing is here's my thing. Like, did you have a cell phone? I'm trying to figure out if she probably didn't have a cell phone, but did you not know your sister's number? Because why you didn't call her and ask her what happened? That is, it's just like parts of the puzzle that are missing that we need answers to. I have so many questions in my head. Like, where is the sister at? Where is the sister? Right now, that other part that you just mentioned, Mary, she was robbed. So who's to say that the party, ended? Because I think they said the party ended at, it concluded at 2, and you was possibly standing outside and somebody outside did it. You know what I'm saying? A random person. It wasn't even Combs. I don't even think they probably had cameras out there on the side of the buildings. I don't know. It's just like so many holes and missing pieces that we just don't know. This is one case. Once again, I'm sitting back and I'm observing. I'm writing down my questions and trying to figure out exactly what happened. Because, lady, where was your sister at? That's what I want to say. Now, I'm not saying, because obviously she was in the hospital. We seen it. We actually seen her wristband that shows she was in the hospital. We seen a ticket, so she actually went to a black party. We saw the letter, so we know she attended. But what happened between that second drink and the time she, ended up at the hospital? Now, I wonder if she obtained her medical records, because I know when I order medical records for our clients, it's a little bit more in detailed than you guys would have received if, like in your discharge paperwork. With ours, when we requested through um the attorney's office, like when I do attorney record requests, we get everything. So the time that you came into the hospital, who brought you to the hospital, whether you was a walk-in or by EMS, um every single thing. I'm pretty sure they did some type of toxicology, and what else? Laboratory, so you can see if there was anything in your blood system. Now, I know it's 2006, but I'm thinking maybe they should still have those records. I don't know. I don't work in the healthcare industry or the medical industry, so I don't know how far back they keep records. But if they get her medical records, it can give them a detail as to how she got to the hospital, what time she got to the hospital, down to what they found in her system. Because if you come in there and your underwear was gone and your shirt was torn and all this other stuff, they had to do some type of analysis on you. I'm just saying. Hospitals hand you a release form. They do, but see, the thing with release forms is that they don't have a lot of it's going to show you what they diagnosed you with, give you some take home care instructions and that. But if the law firm orders those records in more detail, we can have literally a timeline as to the time you made it in until the time you left. So they also can start there. So ordering the medical records and speaking to the other contest winners, I think that's going to be a start for her. But hopefully, when was this filed? This was only filed on Friday, so we even got to give them an opportunity to serve all of the defendants before they even move into the discovery phase. So this one is definitely gonna stay on my docket, and I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I had to stop looking at all the other SA cases because that will take a toll on you, but this one is very interesting, because she did come with receipts, but like I said, there's a lot of puzzle pieces that are missing. But I want to see how they go about identifying the other people at the party, and seeing if it was Combs that actually did it. Yep. All right. So I'm about to let y'all go. I gotta finish my dinner. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the replay gang. Hey, hey, hey. Until then, everybody be blessed, and I'm out. Bye.